Hello McLean Church Online family, I'm Rylan, your online host today, and I'm really glad that you're here with us. Our goal in June and July, and heading into August, is to have a summer that matters by thinking about how we gather closer, grow deeper, and go stronger. This week is all about growing deeper as we work on building a faith that lasts. One of the ways to do that, to build a faith that lasts, is to look at stories from the Bible that can teach and inspire us along the way. Today, Pastor Mike finishes up his 3-week series about Joseph. After seeing him in the pit and in the prison, things change today, and we find him in the palace, where he reconnects with his brothers and his father. Stay tuned for that in just a few minutes. But first, if this is your first time with us, we'd love to get to know you. Just click the Connect card button and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you found McLean. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on the radio, you can fill out a digital Connect card at mcleanchurch.org. It's also a great place to share a prayer request or ask any questions that you might have about church online, the Bible, or your faith journey. We'd love to hear from you. Last week, about 140 kids attended our free Bible camp right here in Edinburgh, Pennsylvania. Check out the photos on social media when you have a chance. This week, the Erie Philharmonic Kids Music Camp is here. This building is busy every day. Our facility, our grounds, and even the parking lot are important to the community. And Pastor Brian is here to share how you can help us and other local organizations continue to serve those around us. Pastor Brian?
Well, hey, McLean Church, we certainly hope you're having a great summer so far. And we're coming up on a very important date in our summer calendar, and that is Erie Gives Day on Tuesday, August 11th. This day has become so important in our region for so many nonprofits, and we're grateful to the Erie Community Foundation for facilitating this important day each year. This year, we're going to take a bit different approach as a church to this important day, and that approach is we're going to ask you to think of someone else first. Some years we have really urgent needs as a church as this day approaches. For instance, last year we had an urgent need to replace our church van, and you were so generous on Erie Gives Day last year that we were able not only to purchase a new van, but we were also able to lease a new car, and those vehicles have been providing very needed transportation in our region all year long. But this year, we don't have an urgently pressing need. Now, to be clear, we are always in need of donations. In fact, donations to our church, like most churches these days, continue to decline. So days like Erie Gives are important to us in maintaining our annual budget. But we don't have an urgent and immediate need this year, and other organizations do. So would you please, over the next few weeks as Erie Gives Day approaches, prayerfully consider how the Holy Spirit might guide and direct your giving to enable you to help and support another organization that is doing good in our region. And would you also consider how the Spirit might lead you to support McLean Church? We don't have an urgent and pressing need this year, but as you know, we are working on a project to resurface both our Edinburgh and Union City parking lots. That project also involves replacing our front entryway at our Edinburgh site. We know that the price tag in Edinburgh alone of repaving all of our parking lot and replacing that front entrance is going to approach almost $500,000. Already we've had 2 very generous donors commit a total of $20,000 to that project, and we would love to raise another $30,000 this year so that we had about 10% in hand of what that project is going to cost us when we're ready to do it, hopefully next summer. But again, this need is not urgent and immediate, and other organizations do have urgent and immediate needs. So please be thoughtful and prayerful over the next few weeks as to how God would use you and the resources He's given you to be the good in this region. And then on Erie Gives Day, give as generously as you can to the organizations God leads you to support and help. And together we'll make this region a better place as we commit to be the good that God has placed us here to live out and be. Of course, additional details on Erie Gives Day are available on our church's website and at the Erie Gives website. Thank you for your commitment to generosity in our region.
Thanks, Pastor Brian. Start praying about how you might help and watch for more information about Erie Gives on our website, app, and social media in the coming weeks. If you're local and you're ready to connect with others, we have some upcoming opportunities for you. From popsicles in the park to guys' night at the Erie Seawolves baseball game, or family night right here in Edinboro, there's still plenty of time this summer to have some fun, make some new friends, and enjoy some time outdoors. Again, you can find all of the details on our website, in the McLean app, or by following us on social media. Now let's get ready to worship together with Spence and Jillian.
Hello, McLeaners, and welcome. I'm your friendly neighborhood Spence, and I love that in this age we can worship together no matter where you are. Maybe you're sitting in front of a television right now. Maybe you're driving somewhere in your car. Maybe you're just listening and can't see me right now. But wherever we are connected through our Heavenly Father. We are brothers and sisters in Christ. So as we sing this first song together today, Touch the Sky, there's a lyric that I just love so much in it. It says, I touch the sky when my knees hit the ground. And I love that so much. I've been trying to challenge myself more to actually get down on my knees and pray when I pray to God, to put myself in a submissive position to Him and give Him the awe and the wonder that He deserves. So let us lift up our hearts and voices together in reverence of our Heavenly Father, the God we love so much.
What fortune lies beyond the stars? What dazzling heights too vast to climb? I got so high and fall so far, but I found heaven as love swept below. My heart beating, my soul breathing. I found my life when I laid it down, upward falling, spirit soaring. I touched the sky when my knees hit the ground. What treasure waits within the scars? This gift of freedom love can't buy. I bought the world and sold my heart. You traded heaven
1 Peter 1 says, "So prepare your minds for action and exercise self-control. Put all your hope in the gracious salvation that will come to you when Jesus Christ is revealed to the world." So you must live as God's obedient children. Don't slip back into your old ways of living to satisfy your own desires. You didn't know any better then, but now you must be holy in everything you do, just as God who chose you is holy. For the scriptures say, "You must be holy because I am holy."
The train of your robe flows from your throne. You wear the crown of majesty. I fall on my knees. What could I bring to lay before the King of Kings? High and exalted, you are set apart. There's no one like you, you alone are God. It's your holiness, it's your holiness leads me to reverence. I stand in awe and wonder, Father. Here in your presence is holiness. Perfect and good, only you could make a way for one like me. Oh, sacred fire, my heart's desire. Oh, come and fan the flames in me. Come and fan the flames in me. It's your holiness, it's your holiness leads me to reverence. I stand in awe and wonder, Father. Here in your presence is holiness. High and exalted, you are set apart. There's no one like you, you alone are God. High and exalted, you are set apart. There's no one like you, God. It's your holiness, it's your holiness leads me to reverence. I stand in awe and wonder, Father. Here in your presence is, Father. Here in your presence is, Father. Here in your presence is holiness, pure holiness.
Hebrews chapter 13 verse 16 reminds us, "Do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God." Every gift, big or small, helps our church continue serving our community, creating places where people can connect, grow in their faith, and experience the love of Jesus. If you'd like to give today, you can make a one-time gift or set up a recurring giving by visiting mcleanchurch.org/give, using the McLean app, or texting McLean to 77977. Thank you for your generosity and for being a part of what God is doing through McLean Church. Like I mentioned earlier, Pastor Mike is here to talk about Joseph in the palace and the importance of forgiveness. Let's see what he has to share as we continue worshiping together.
Summer changes our routines. The pace shifts, the days fill up. Vacations, gatherings, and plans crowd our calendars. In a season full of distractions, it's easy to lose sight of what matters most. But while schedules change, our need for Jesus remains. Our need for community remains. Our need for purpose remains. This summer, we're focusing on what matters most.
Well, welcome again, everyone. Today is our final segment of a three-part series about Joseph from the Old Testament book of Genesis. We are covering chapters 37 through 50 by way of a weekly synopsis and brief view into important aspects of this story. I encourage you to not only read these chapters on your own to get the full and detailed story, but then go to our archives and listen to any messages that you may have missed. Let's watch our synopsis of part number 3.
Stories of the Bible. Joseph forgives. This is Joseph.
Hey!
Who was the son of Israel and Rachel. But he had 11 brothers who hated him and sold him into slavery. After being put in jail, Joseph told of the future of Egypt when he interpreted Pharaoh's dreams, and Joseph found favor with the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh made Joseph a leader in his kingdom. Just as Joseph had told the Pharaoh, Egypt had 7 years of abundance. Then the 7 years of abundance came to an end, and the 7 years of famine began. Just as Joseph had said. But the Egyptians had food to eat because Joseph had planned for the famine. There was famine in all the other lands, and many came to Joseph to buy food. There was even a famine in the land that Joseph came from. So when Israel heard that there was grain in Egypt, he sent his sons to buy some. But Israel did not send Benjamin with the others because he was afraid that harm might come to him. When Joseph's brothers came to him, Joseph recognized them, but he pretended to be a stranger. So Joseph decided to test his brothers. He had his interpreter tell them to send for Benjamin, who had stayed home. And then he threw his brothers in jail for 3 days. On the 3rd day, Joseph let all but one of the brothers take grain to their starving households with the instruction to bring Benjamin back. But Joseph provided for his brothers' journey and gave them grain and silver. The brothers did exactly as Joseph instructed, as they were scared that God was punishing them for what they had done to Joseph so many years before. They traveled home to their father's house, then back to Egypt. Now that he had seen that they brought Benjamin, Joseph was overwhelmed, so he released the brother who was still in prison. But Joseph decided to play one more trick on his brothers. He sent the brothers away but told his servant to hide his silver cup in Benjamin's bag. Then Joseph told the servant to go after the brothers and retrieve the cup. The brothers hadn't traveled far before the servant stopped them and accused them of stealing the cup. Joseph could no longer control himself before his attendants. He made them leave so he could be alone with his brothers, and he told his brothers who he really was.
Ta-da!
He told them of his life and all he had experienced, and he forgave them for what they had done. God was with Joseph and took care of him and showed him favor.
In the first week, we said that when Joseph was thrown into the pit, it became a turning point in his life. And then last week, we discussed his time in prison and how it became a growing point in his life by changing him and reminding him of God's nearness. Today, we will talk about the palace, the place of power and position. But for Joseph, it is a place of reunion, reconciliation, and restart. It is the celebration point in his life. Because we have limited time, I want to focus on one small section to conclude our series today. It is chapter 45, verses 1 through 9. Now remember, Joseph is second in command over all of the land. He is married, has children, and has pretty much saved civilization because of the interpretation of Pharaoh's dreams and then executing a logical plan to save, store, and distribute food during the famine. And just as we discussed last time, there is an overriding theme of God being near. So let's read Genesis 45, 1 through 9. Then Joseph could no longer control himself before all his attendants, and he cried out, "Have everyone leave my presence." So there was no one with Joseph when he made himself known to his brothers. And he wept so loudly that the Egyptians heard him, and Pharaoh's household heard about it. Joseph said to his brothers, "I am Joseph. Is my father still living?" But his brothers were not able to answer him because they were terrified at his presence. Then Joseph said to his brothers, "Come close to me." When they had done so, he said, "I am your brother Joseph, the one you sold into Egypt. And now do not be distressed and do not be angry with yourselves for selling me here, because it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you. For 2 years now there has been famine in the land, and for the next 5 years there will be no plowing and reaping. But God sent me ahead of you to preserve you for a remnant on earth and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So then, it was not you who sent me here, but God. He made me father to Pharaoh, lord of his entire household and ruler of all Egypt. Now hurry back to my father and say to him, 'This is what your son Joseph says. God has made me lord of all Egypt. Come down to me. Don't delay.'" Now there is a term that is often used to describe moments and events such as these, and it is providence. Providence is God's care and protection over humanity. Joseph yields to that all throughout the story. And then Joseph exercises providence. He takes what God has given him and extends protection and care over the entire land, but then specifically to his brothers and family. He is a model of what God must desire to happen with all of us, that we would take the abundance of care that God gives us, even though we are filled with flaws and failures, and that we would give abundance of care to others, even those who are filled with flaws and failures. As we are cared for through the grace of God, we should always look for opportunities to exercise grace and love to those around us. Now think for a moment about what could have happened here. Joseph, he could have treated his brothers horribly. He could have turned them away, or worse yet, had them thrown into a pit, never to be seen again. Well, he was second in command. He was powerful. But God worked in the heart of Joseph. For over 20 years, he has had time to think and pray and process and mature and observe God's richness and grace to himself. In Christianity, this is called sanctification. Even though we may find ourselves in the pits and prisons of life, we are rescued. And then God changes us and leads us into better places and growth. Our trust in him increases, and our character is refined through trusting in God and growing through life's experiences. God will then He will often give us opportunities to pay that love and care and forgiveness forward to other people. It would be a kind of unlike the guy in the drive-thru who was ordering several items for his coworkers. Because it was taking a long time, the car behind him started beeping its horn, wouldn't stop. When he went to pay, he asked if he could pay for the car behind him as well. He then drove forward to the next window, picked up his food, as well as the food for the car behind him, and he drove off. That is not grace and mercy. That would be called revenge. Joseph's response was not like that. Revenge does not repair. It only disrupts and destroys hope for a future relationship. The depth of love that Joseph had in his heart was building to this climactic moment. And the indicator of this love and compassion registered in the level of tears that had been flowing and would continue by Joseph. Now, we've all experienced this at one point or another. Someone is overwhelmed with emotion and they just can't stop crying. In verse 1, Joseph sends everyone away so that it is just him and his brothers. And before he even said a word, this happens. He wept so loudly that the Egyptians heard him and Pharaoh's household heard about it. A short time later, then he threw his arms around his brother Benjamin and wept. And Benjamin embraced him, weeping. And he kissed all his brothers and wept over them. Way later, in chapter 46:29, Joseph is reunited with his father. As soon as Joseph appeared before him, he threw his arms around his father and wept for a long time. This is interesting. We all know that there are happy tears and there are sad tears. But did you know that the two are different in their chemical makeup? Sad tears tend to be filled with stress hormones and natural painkillers that will help your body cope with stress or soothe physical tension. Happy tears contain higher levels of mood-altering chemicals designed to balance your emotional state after experiencing extreme joy. Joseph was moved to a place of such extreme elation and relief that he needed a release, and he kept crying these happy tears. Like the prodigal father who told the older son, "We had to celebrate that your son returned." It is as if Joseph is saying, I have to cry. I am so happy. I love them so much and never thought I would see them again. But the brothers are terrified. They knew what they did to Joseph and what Joseph should rightly do back to them. Yet Joseph says this to them. He basically says, "You sold me. God sent me." These are the words of a man who has been sold out for God. Joseph was stripped of his multicolored coat, his favored place with his father, and his secure life, and was thrown into a pit and later a prison. You know, when we are stripped of everything that we depend upon and then cling to God, we go from being independent to God-dependent. Paul said later in the New Testament, "It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me." In verse 8, Joseph says, "It was not you who sent me here, but God." Not you, but God. Joseph experienced God's providence over his life in a powerful, full circle kind of way. And he does not stop there. He says, "Go and tell Dad what God did." He doesn't say, "Go tell Dad what you did to me," or "Go tell Dad what I did." No, he says, "Go and tell him what God did. God has made me Lord of Egypt." This is a place for us to aspire to. Back in chapter 37, it seemed to be all about Joseph, right? the coat, the favoritism, the dreams, waving it all in his brothers' faces. Now it is all about God. Here's a good question to ask ourselves occasionally. Is there too much of me and not enough of God and others? Boy, an honest and personal evaluation with questions like that can often move us into a healthier direction in life. There seems to be quite a culmination in verse 14 where it says that he threw his arms around Benjamin and embraced him, weeping, and he kissed all his brothers and wept over him. And then there's this short but extremely important phrase right after that. Afterward, his brothers talked with him. You know, it had been 20 years since he and his brothers had spoken. There was a lot of catching up to do. I know relationships in life are tough. Every person is different in every situation. However, don't miss what happened here. Don't miss the opportunity for the power of God to heal a relationship in your life. Sometimes it is about letting go of the fight to embrace the forgiveness. Listen to what commentator Derek Kidner says of this moment. The certainty that God's will, not man's, was the controlling reality in every event shines out as Joseph's guiding light and the secret of his lack of rancor. Rancor being a long-lasting feeling of hatred, resentment, and ill will. The world would say, exercise a lot of rancor when someone has betrayed you, hurt you, and left you for dead. God's way says, let my perfect will and my plan play out. And then be ready. Be ready to offer forgiveness. Listen, only God can do this. Joseph, he's being the ultimate example here for all of us about what it means to be possessed by the Spirit of God. A spirit that sees the good and goodness of God's plan and keeps on declaring it even years later in chapter 50, when Joseph says to his brothers, their father had died and the brothers were worried that Joseph would seek revenge against them. And Joseph says, don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Joseph lived 1700 to 1900 years before Jesus Christ, but he embodied the spirit of Christianity and its principles. The forgiveness, the benevolence and hopefulness that he extended to his brothers looks a lot like what Jesus Christ extends to us. The pit was a point of change, the prison a point of growth, and the palace became a place of victory and celebration. The story of Joseph is one for the ages. Your story is as well. Here's a great assignment as we conclude our study of Joseph's story. Begin to record your own story. If you're not currently keeping a journal, why not start? Record a brief daily entry and keep that going for at least the next 30 days. You can start with the word yesterday every day and just write, and then end with this phrase, God was really good because. As you record the events of your life, God's presence will be revealed as you look back at what he has done and see how his plans have unfolded. May we allow God to use the pits and prisons in our life's journey to lead us to a place of great victory today and in the days ahead. I hope that you will often reflect upon the story of Joseph to find encouragement for your own journey through life.
You stood before creation, eternity in your hand. You spoke the earth into motion, my soul now to stand. You stood before my failures and carried the cross for my shame. My sin weighed upon your shoulders, my soul now to stand. So what can I say? What could I do but offer this heart, oh God, completely to you? So I walk upon salvation, your spirit alive in me, this life to declare your promise, my soul now to stand. So what can I say? What could I do but offer this heart, oh God, completely to you? So what could I say? And what could I do but offer this heart, oh God, completely to you? So I'll stand with arms high and heart abandoned in awe of the one who gave it all. I'll stand, my soul, Lord, to you surrendered. All I am is yours. So I'll stand with arms high and heart abandoned in awe of the one who gave it all. I'll stand, my soul, Lord, to you surrendered. All I am is yours. So I'll stand with arms high and heart abandoned in awe of the one who gave it all. I'll stand, my soul, Lord, to you surrendered. All I am is yours. Yes, it is so. So I'll stand with arms high and heart abandoned in awe of the one who gave it all. I'll stand, my soul, Lord, to you surrendered. All I am is yours. So I'll stand with arms high and heart abandoned in awe of the one who gave it all. I'll stand, my soul, Lord, to you surrendered. All I am is yours.
Thanks to Pastor Mike and Spence and the worship team for a great service today. And thank you so much to each of you for being with us. Pastor Mike put together some questions to help you think about the message all through the week. We call it Talk It Over, and you can find it on our website and app. It's a great resource that helps you take what we learned today with you and find ways to apply it in your life throughout this week. If you have any questions about anything you heard today, or if you have a prayer request, you can reach out to Pastor Chris anytime at cnorris@mcleanchurch.org. Have a great week, and we'll see you right back here next time at McLean Church Online.